Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. Welcome to the Bullet Short Revision series ahead of your CBSE Class 12 English examination. This is going to be the revision video for Deep Water from your Flamingo textbook. So, what is the plot summary? Quickly, let's go through it. William Douglas develops a deep fear of water because of what happened in his childhood. At 10 or 11 years old, he chooses to learn swimming at the YMCA swimming pool despite warnings. An 18-year-old bully. So one of the themes of this particular chapter is that of bullying. Pushes him into the deep end, causing a near drowning experience. He could have drowned. He struggles to escape but ultimately loses consciousness after being rescued. He develops a lifelong fear of water. Years later, he hires an instructor and undergoes systematic training, and he tests himself in open water in different lakes around the country, Lake Wentworth, the Warm Lake, and finally conquers his fear. So the story is about one, the bullying aspect, and number two, and more importantly, how he manages to conquer his fears. The character analysis. This is important. William Douglas, initially fearful but later determined and very persistent. The bully, who is a careless and an insensitive character, he triggers Douglas's traumatic experience that for a major part of his life, he fears water. The instructor is rather patient and is a contrast to the bully and very methodical, and he helps Douglas overcome his fear step by step. So these are the three characters, the main characters. The mother is a character, but not such an important character in the story. Now, what are the key themes of this particular story? One, and the most important one, is that of conquering fear. Each one of us has some fears which we try to avoid, but if we are able to conquer those fears, overcome deep-seated fears through perseverance, that is seen as the ultimate victory, the ultimate triumph. That is what will give us confidence for facing any kind of hurdles later on in life. So that is one of the major themes. The second theme is of the impact of the bullying in childhood, the fear rooted in early experiences. So please focus on these two themes whenever any subjective question comes from this particular chapter. Even in the extract based questions, you need to be mindful of that this is what the author is trying to convey through this particular story. Then there is the role of support and guidance. A mentor aids in overcoming the challenges. Each one of us needs a mentor, and which is why I always say, try not to be harsh to anyone, because what if you are harsh to A, it is quite possible that B will be harsh to you. That's how cycle of life works. So if you are nice to someone, it will come back to you in a roundabout manner. So the role of support, so very essential. The will to live. Facing death heightens the appreciation for life. What is the style of storytelling? It is autobiographical. It uses the flashback technique, very descriptive in the kind of storytelling style, vivid imagery, and a lot of personification, because fear is depicted as some kind of an enemy. I need to defeat fear. So fear is personified almost like a person who has to be conquered, who has to be defeated. What is the larger message of this particular story? That fear can be conquered, but with determination. The human mind is a powerful supercomputer which can actually overcome any kind of difficult circumstances, any kind of trauma. And overcoming fear leads to a greater appreciation of life. This is the larger message. So I'm repeating the themes and the larger message. Please focus on, because that's what will determine how you write all your answers. Let's look at some MCQs. Okay, read this extract in 10 seconds and then I will scroll down. Okay, so after this, you see it says, which of these sentences uses the expression the curtain of life as used in the above line from Deep Water? So the curtain of life, you need to know the meaning of the word, a phrase curtain of life, and then see how it has been used in any of these phrases, and see which of them uses it correctly in the same manner as it has been used in the passage in the story. Okay, option C is the correct one. The curtain of life fell corresponds to an aspect of geometry, history, sports, or drama. So you see, curtain fell. Curtains fall where? When you are seeing a performance on stage. So therefore, we are talking about drama out here. The purpose of using a lot of dots in the above passage is to show omission, indicate pauses, shorten a dialogue, replace an idea, indicate pauses. Which option indicates that the poet lost consciousness? It was quiet and peaceful. I crossed to oblivion, tender arms like mothers, it wiped out fear. Option B. Let's look at the second extract. Just go through it quickly and then I will go through the questions. You can even see the first question. The mother's character is that one of being very protective about her son. Okay, option 2. What does the above extract tell us about? The above extract is about apprehension of Douglas when he goes to YMCA pool to learn swimming. Give a word that means the same as treacherous, dangerous. So synonyms and antonyms is something which you could be tested on. Let's look at some subjective questions. Piece by piece, he built a swimmer. How did Douglas make sure this happened? Now, how do you answer this? As I said, you need to kind of put it in the context of how this particular phrase has been used. William Douglas hired an instructor to help him overcome his fear of water. He did so by putting a belt around him. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley and ran on an overhead cable. This ensured he went back and forth the pool hour after hour. He was then taught to put his face underwater and exhale. He taught him to exhale, raise his nose and inhale. Kicking with the legs came next, and gradually Douglas mastered the art of commanding his reluctant legs. Thus, piece by piece. So you see, legs have been personified by me in this sentence. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer, helping him to conquer his old terror. So that's how you need to write this particular answer. 1 second, I just want to cross-check one particular piece of information. Where is the textbook? Yep. Okay, let's move to the next question. All we have to fear is fear itself. Now, this is an important question. Okay, this is an important question. I want you to yep. All we have to fear is fear itself was said by President Roosevelt, who was one of the most famous presidents of the United States of America, with whom William Douglas worked. He learned this lesson after overcoming his fear of water by hiring a trainer and learning how to swim. As a child, he had been terror-struck inside water, unable to rescue himself and thinking that the curtain of life had fallen on him. But now the trainer built a swimmer out of Douglas piece by piece. Therefore, he tried swimming in Lake Wentworth and Warm Lake. He realized that all the hurdles, fears, and terrors can be conquered only with courage, willpower, and determination. Douglas has a passion to live. Elucidate. Elucidate means explain with examples. Douglas has seen death at close quarters and hence he has the passion to live. He does not wish to be deprived of the joys of life like swimming, fishing, canoeing, and decided to overcome the handicap by learning swimming as an adult. He realizes the value of life and that makes him more determined to conquer the fear and terror of death. According to him, there is peace in death and there is terror only in the fear of death. Having experienced both the sensation of dying and terror that fear of it can produce, Douglas's will to live only grew in intensity. He became more determined than ever to actually live. So, with that, we come to the end of this particular chapter, Deep Water. I hope this revision video has been of help. It's not a complicated chapter. I'm sure most of you can relate to what has been happening, what happens in this story. Many of you would be knowing swimming. Many of you would be having a fear of water. So in that sense, we can relate to this story. And I'm sure you will also take huge inspiration because one of the questions that can be asked is, for example, it just occurred to me, write a letter to your friend explaining to him that how you conquered, the fear of water and learned to swim. Write it in just about 120 words. So you should prepare yourself for these kind of questions as well, apart from those which are directly related to the chapter itself. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.